we're back. I am Chris, and we have Dan over to my left. There he is. What's going on, man? It has been
I'm
a
doing good.
while. Well, not really. It's only been a week.
Only been a week. Only 1 week. We have kept on date. We have kept on the date.
Kept on
So it's
date, but not
going
kept on
well.
time.
Yeah, that's true.
That was
That's
because of me.
true.
So
All good.
I
We get
apologize.
shopping.
Sorry?
No, we all have stuff to do, so no issues with that. But I am not that excited for the fights, actually. Just the main event, really. The main event is the only one that really stands out. Anything else for you, or?
No, nothing really stands out. It's always good to see Luis Pena fight. I mean, he's violent Bob Ross. That's always fun. He's still got a ways to go, but he's always fun to watch. Seeing
Yeah.
Dad bod Jean Vellante. That'll be good.
Yes. That's going to be really interesting against Maurice Green. Maurice looks humongous compared to Vellante.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
Maurice looks big compared to anyone. He's like what, like 6'7" or something. Yeah, 6'7". That's
Holy cow.
he's a big dude. Doesn't matter who he goes up against.
Holy cow. Kim Vellante is 191 centimeters. And Green makes him look short. Holy cow.
Yep.
He's a big dude, like you said.
Yeah, he's a huge man. So
I reckon,
that'll be interesting.
go on. I reckon we're going to have the greatest thing once Mike Perry banks Mickey Gall's ass. He's gonna be like,
Ah,
I dedicate this win to my corner, my girlfriend, who's in my corner, who knows everything, who taught me everything. She taught me how to do a front kick. She taught me how to do a jab.
oh my God, she's gonna be the next Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I taught him that move, and I taught him this move. He's a weird dude, man. He's a weird dude. I don't know if it's all an
It's
act or
fun.
if it's just if he's legitimately that weird. He sounds stoned in every interview.
I think he's like that. I think that's him. I think he's just very entertaining. That's all. I love it. I love it. I really do. I
I
think
so,
we need more Mike Perry's.
yeah, he's certainly entertaining as fuck. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Having your misses in your corner, if this goes past round one, what's she gonna say if it's not going his way? It's like I felt like Mike Tyson. Let's go like, full Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, dude. If Diego Sanchez can spank Mike Perry's ass with like a guru
Mickey Gall's
next to
ass.
him, Mickey Gall's sorry, the guru next to him, Mike Perry is gonna rape him. I swear to God.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go by just let's just assume that Mickey Gall wasn't lying when he said he was sick as a motherfucker going into that Sanchez fight, and I don't know. He'll probably be able to get the fight to the ground and take Perry's back. But yeah,
Oh,
it is a big step up. It is a big step up for
yeah,
Mickey Gall. So it'll be interesting.
it's a huge step up. I agree.
I mean,
Completely agree.
not as big of a step up as fighting CM Punk was, but you know. And he
Hmm.
had a fun fight with Sage Northcutt. I want to go back and watch that fight
Yeah,
actually. That was so fun. Like I didn't expect it to
that
be
was a
as
good
fun as
fight.
it was. Like they were talking shit in the middle of the fight, and he had
Mm.
Sage Northcutt talking shit to him.
Yeah.
Sage fucking dropped Mickey Gall, and then he's like, "What? Who doesn't have power now?" It's like, whoa, okay, okay. I don't think anyone said you don't have power, but okay.
Mm. Mickey Gall dropped Sage. He just flash knocked him down. Sage panicked, went for a double, got got into a guillotine position, back taken, and choked out.
Mm.
It was unfortunate. He really should have won that though.
Yeah, well, he didn't. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. He didn't.
That is true.
Yeah, I can't think of any other exciting fights. Mike Perry's always going to be fun. Vellante always he makes fun fights, but yeah, he's fighting an uphill battle there. And I don't really know too many other people on this card. Do you?
Not really.
In terms of
Not
like
really.
betting odds.
No one really stands out in all honesty. The only one is Luis Pena, but his odds are like 1.4, which is too steep. You don't want to put your money on that against someone who has knockout power.
Mm.
I wouldn't bet on this card at all.
Yeah.
Jin Frey is pretty good. She's the Invicta Atomweight, accepting her UFC debut at in her 30s. She fought against Wazness Atomweight champ Asaya Hamazaki, something like that. She
Okay.
was too tentative. She was way too tentative in her fight. So that was a bit sad to see. So I don't really rate her too high. And yeah, she's fighting as Kate Hansen, who apparently is a good wrestler. So we'll see how it goes.
Hmm. It should be interesting. Hopefully, I'll wake up in time to watch that one because lately I haven't been waking up on time on Sundays to watch these prelim fights. So that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Been waking
No,
up to watch
there's
like the final four fights and that's about it.
yeah, there's no fight where you are like, I gotta wake up to watch this. There hasn't been one lately.
Nah, let's go back. So Blaze and Volkov last week. They actually had an okay card. I mean, starting off with that Austin Hubbard. Oh, actually, that's something to talk about. That did you hear the corner for Max, whatever the fuck his name is, against Austin Hubbard?
Oh yes, 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 yes,
How
yes.
Max kept on saying, "I'm done, I'm done, I'm done," and then his coach, that black belt guy, can't remember his name, kept on saying, "No, you're a champion. Come on, you can do this. You can do this." Like, "Nah, bro, I'm done." Like, he took the fight on like 5 days' notice, so obviously he wasn't in shape. And going into that third round, he's like, "Nah, I got nothing left, man. I got nothing left." And he was getting spanked in that second round, so obviously he didn't want to go
Mhm.
out there and take some kind of fucking
Yeah.
career-ending beating. So he's like, "Nah, nah.
Mhm.
I, I shot my shot and I missed. It's not my day." And yeah, now his coach is copping it.
Which is fair enough. Like the man's telling you, I'm done. What his coach would should have done, in my point of view, is go, okay, just listen to me, and yeah, after that, if you don't want to fight, I'm calling it off. And then try to hype him up. And then the end of it, if he says, no, I'm done, you're like, all right. You don't just let him go out and fight when he doesn't want to fight anymore and he's just going to get hurt, like you say.
Yeah,
So,
it's an interesting thing because sometimes you'll have people that they kind of they don't have a great deal of confidence, so you need to hype them up. Like for you in comps, like this is jiu-jitsu wise, I've always had to hype you up, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm too tired. I can't do this. I can't do that." And then I hype you up. You go out there and you smash them, dude. So
okay.
sometimes people need that like that hyping up, but if someone says like, "No, I'm done," and like in terms of an actual fight, it's like it's a slippery slope. Like
Yeah.
that many times they'd be like, "I'm done, I'm done, I'm done." It's like, I think he's done. I think he's done. And to like, yeah, what are you laughing at?
I fucking remember it. This happened at a comp. I don't know which comp, but years ago, years ago. I was so gassed, like after, I don't know, it was like the third match. I was so gassed. I'm done. And I was like, I'm done. Like, just take me out. Like, I've got nothing to offer. Legit. I remember this. And fucking Adam was like, Dan, shut up. Totally shut up.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm done. I can't do anything. He's like, Dan, shut up. Go ahead. I went in there. I was like, fuck it. Just one takedown. Got the takedown, stayed on top on the match.
yep, yep. I was there for that, man. I was there because after your first match at that comp, I remember you like crawled off the mats, walked up to us and said, like with your arms up like this, you're like, my forearms are too tight. Can you do up my belt? Can you do up my belt?
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. I remember
And Adam and I were looking at you like, no. Your next opponent's standing right over there. Don't give away the fact that you're gas, you dickhead. Put your own belt on.
that. Was that the Renegade comp? I think
Yeah,
it was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was a renegade comp. It was a renegade comp. And we're like, what are you
Oh
doing,
my
man? Get
god.
the fuck up! Don't show him. Don't show him the fact that you're gassed. Oh,
I remember that.
but that's literally
Holy shit.
that's happened to you at most of your comps. Like you'll have a match, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, and I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, man. If if I can like your last match, you just dominated the dude. Go out there, do the same thing. Just do the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys know me so well. I mentally check out. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And that's similar to this Max guy by the looks of it. Although this Max guy seems like he might be the type of guy that's a bit of a front runner where, like, if he's winning, he's like he'll
Mm,
be doing well. But the second he starts losing confidence in himself. But before that,
mm,
he's got like fucking Conor McGregor confidence, and he's like, I can smash anyone.
yeah.
But then once he starts losing, he doesn't. He's not the type of guy that can find a way to come back.
Mm,
Like you're not going
mm,
to see him in a fight against Daniel Cormier getting his ass kicked and then find those
yeah.
body shots that end the fight.
That is true. Holy shit. That was a pretty big win by Stipe. Good on him.
That was fuck. How crazy was that win, man? Because Daniel Cormier was putting the beat down on him. He took his will like in the first round where he picked him up and did the fucking Alexander Gustafsson takedown to him,
Hmm.
and then just kept on beating on him. And then in that fourth round, just that fucking left hook to the gut. It's like, oh, that's landed a couple of times now. Hopefully he finds a defense. It's like he didn't plan for this, did he? Cormier did not plan for this moment. Oh man, that was
Uh,
sad to see though. It was sad to see because I really wanted Cormier to retire and to see him come back
yeah.
now. It's like he's not gonna be the same guy. You can't
Mm,
be. Not at this age. You're not getting better. You can't.
mm, that's true.
What
Speaking of Daniel, we can't talk about Daniel without John Jones.
do you
What's
want?
happening with John Jones? What is happening? Like, I'm hearing that he's trying to retire. He's saying he's going to sit out and not fight.
He wants to get more money because out of every champion in the UFC, he's got to be the most underpaid champion
Mm,
by like a long shot. Because his fee is like a 500k flat fee for every fight. Like Daniel
yeah.
Cormier gets paid more than that when Daniel Cormier gets the same money as the non-champ.
Mm,
And at the moment for his next fight, which is apparently his final fight, he'll be getting the same contract that he gets for his when he was champion. So
yeah.
he's going to be making the same amount. So that's I think it's just a million flat rate,
Hmm.
and then he'll get if he wins, he'll get like pay per view points. Actually, no, I think he's still got pay per view points on his contract, even though he's not the champion.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, so like Daniel Cormier is a star and all that type of stuff, but you'd assume that John Jones, being the champion for as long as he's been, would get
Mm,
paid more than say a guy that's not champion.
yeah. Fair. Nah, I get you. I get you.
But then
Yeah.
obviously John Jones has like destroyed himself in terms of the media, so it's kind of difficult
Mm,
in terms of that. I know,
hmm.
but yeah, so he wants to get paid more, Mr. Johnny Bones Jones. He wants to get like at least a couple mil per fight because he's not getting
Mm,
that. Like maybe he
yeah.
gets undisclosed pay in regards to like getting up to like the millions and whatnot, but his disclosed pay is nowhere near that.
Mm,
His disclosed pay is what Brock Lesnar was getting back in 2010.
yeah.
So his his pay is the same as the highest pay 10 years ago,
Mm,
which is it's that's not like it seems like a lot, but because you're talking about Brock Lesnar, but that was Brock Lesnar 10 years ago. If
hmm.
Brock Lesnar came back now, he would not be getting 500k. He'd be getting a
No.
couple mil.
Yeah.
Like I think for his fight against Mark Hunt, which was what 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that
Hmm.
was I think he got about 2.5 mil for that fight.
Fuck. Good on him. Good
I
on
could
him.
be talking out of my ass, so you know what? I can always look this up.
And Brock Lesnar, after Overeem, that is a fight. I was like touching myself while I was
Oh man, I was
watching
like,
it.
I couldn't help myself. That was 2016, when Brock Lesnar came back, and he got 2.5 mil. I was on the money.
Nice.
2.5 mil. and that was in 2016. And John
Mm.
Jones, the current champion in 2020, gets a 500k flat rate. And at that point in time, Cormier fighting a three-rounder, not for the championship, against Anderson Silva, got paid less than Anderson Silva. But he got paid a 500k flat rate.
Mm.
No win bonus, nothing. So that's probably why Mr. Johnny Bones wants a couple extra dollars. I'm just gonna go
Yeah, that
to
makes sense.
John's last pay per view. Let's see. No, it doesn't disclose his pay there. What about the Thiago Santos? Okay, against Thiago Santos, yep, same thing. A 500,000 flat rate, and Thiago Santos got 350. So he didn't even get that much more than the unknown challenger.
Yeah. No, I get you.
And Anthony
I
Smith,
get you.
same thing. Exactly the same thing. 500, and then Anthony Smith got 350, and he was the unknown challenger.
Mm. I
Uh,
wonder
jo-
what John
John
Jones' contract.
against Gustafson. Gustafson got paid the same amount as John Jones.
Mm. I wonder what John Jones's contracts look like.
Um, Probably involves a lot of pay-per-view points. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how much price he has left on it.
When John Jones fought Cormier, Cormier got a mil. John Jones got 500.
Jeez, interesting. That's interesting.
But that was a really high-selling pay-per-view. That was up in
Mm-hmm.
that was 860,000 buyers, which for this era or even that era, which was 2017, it's pretty big.
Mm.
And yeah, so he probably got pay-per-view points on that. Fuck, that was a sad fight to watch because Cormier was once again doing really well in that fight, and then he got caught by that head kick and he just went down. Because I gave him rounds 1 and 2.
Mm.
I thought he was putting the pressure on. I thought he was starting to gas in that third round though, and obviously Jones was coming on and then landed that kick.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy, fucking crazy, mate. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we've gone over that. Jeez, we just went back one card to see how good the cards have been lately, and we already spoke that much about just going back to last week. But this week's card, there's only one fight to talk about, really.
Yeah.
So let's
All right.
talk about
Let's
it.
just.
No? So?
Ooh. We talking about the main event straight away?
Up to you. Is that what you want to do?
No,
Oh,
let's go from bottom. From
yeah.
bottom to top. I think that's good. And also, let's watch the weigh-ins.
Oh, yeah, let's watch the Waynes, yeah. So should we just watch the Waynes and as the fighters come out, we'll talk about them?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Even though we don't know who they are?
They'll say their name, right?
Sorry?
They'll say their names when they call them out.
No, I mean, we don't know who they are in terms of, like, how we're going to comment on people we don't know.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I know some of them. I know some of them. So we can definitely talk about that.
Alrighty then. So where are we starting from on this video?
1 hour 42.
1 hour 42.
Yep. On the MMA fighting site that you sent me.
Well, that's like the very end.
Yeah, that's when their face-offs come out.
That's like the last couple of people that come out. Like this, that's the.
Nah, so at the start they do all the weigh-ins and then the face-offs.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so the first fight is going to be Jin Yu Fei versus Kay Hansen. I've never heard of Kay Hansen. I have seen Jinyu Fei fight before. They're both making their UFC debut though, so that's interesting.
Okay, so on my video I've got a black dude and a tan dude coming out.
Okay, that might be. One sec. I think that's Jordan Griffin and Yusuf Zalal. You
Yusuf
must know who
Zalal.
You must know who Jordan Griffin is though.
Maybe. I
He's
don't know.
been in the UFC for a while. He fought Chase Skelly. He's lost to him.
Lost to Dan
Jordan
Ige.
Griffin. Yeah,
Nah, I
Jordan Griffin.
don't
Go
recall
on.
seeing him fight.
Okay, so Jordan Griffin has power. He's had a pretty nice finish on the Contender Series, but he's not that technical. He fought Chase Gilly, who I don't rate. He's just a grinder and a wrestler grinder in a sense. Yusuf Zalal entered into the UFC as a big underdog, and from his fight, what I saw was he was just spamming takedowns, and it was coming with a lot of confidence, and I was really, really impressed. So in the striking, they're both going to be dangerous, and it's going to be pretty even, really. But I think what the difference is in the wrestling. If Yusuf Zalal can take down Jordan Griffin and just control him and knock him out, basically, that'd be great. If Jordan Griffin keeps it standing, as Yusuf Zalal will exert a lot of energy trying to get takedowns. If Jordan Griffin keeps it standing, he's gonna knock him out because I think Zalal will, how can I say, gas out. Because you've seen it happen all the time where guys go for takedowns and exert all their energy. Like in the gym, it's when I say, when you spam takedowns, you gas so hard. It's a lot harder to spam takedowns. It's a lot more physically exert to spam takedowns than to stop it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Hmm. So that's how I see it. I see it, whoever gets Yusuf Zalal can manage to take him down and control it, he's going to win. If Jordan Griffin gets him tired, keeps it standing, he's going to knock him out. Or if they decide, you know what, no takedowns and just duke it out, it's a 50-50 match.
There we go. That
Right,
I
let's
can't give
see.
any insight on that at all. Because I don't know either guy. But no, I 100% agree. When you spam takedowns, fuck, it's tiring. Especially if you don't get him. If you don't get him, it's not only tiring, it's demoralizing.
Yes, that's another big one. It's so demoralizing. Holy cow.
Like you shoot in over and over again. You assume you're the better wrestler, but you don't get the takedown. You're like, shit. All right, I'll go again. Shit, I'll go again. You're like, oh my god. If I don't get a takedown, I'm going to lose. And then
Mm.
it starts playing on your mind, and then that playing on your mind actually makes you more tired.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of
I
makes you think,
agree.
how impressive is Khabib considering his game revolves around spamming takedowns? He doesn't
Yeah.
have the best takedown ratio in terms of getting a takedown, like just going for a takedown and getting it 100% of the time. It's like he goes for a takedown, misses, goes for another one, misses, goes for another one, misses, chain, 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 chain. 20 attempts later, you're on the ground.
Mm. True.
But then once you're on the ground,
But
you ain't getting up, sir. You ain't going
yeah,
nowhere. It's my house.
that's the most impressive part of Khabib's arsenal. He takes you down, and the way he controls you to keep you down is gorgeous. That's something I need to learn.
Yeah, it's fucking it's heartbreaking. You saw what happened to Poirier, man.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking to watch him just constantly try and get back up. And you see his eyes like, what the fuck? I prepared for this shit, and
Mm.
I can't get up.
Mm.
All right, next one.
All right,
Should
let's move on.
all right the shake.
Jinyu Frey versus Kay Hansen. Jinyu Frey is the former Invicta Antiweight champion. And I've seen her fight before against Ayaka Hamazaki. That she's a Rhythm super anti-weight champion. And Jinyu Frey seemed really, really tentative. And Ayaka doesn't have the greatest striking. So it was really interesting to see. I've never seen K fight before. They're both making their UFC debut, but from what I've researched, she seems like she's a wrestler.
Mm?
So Jinyu Frey doesn't have the best. So she's taken down. She's not the type to straight away jump back up and get back up. So it depends if she can keep it standing. If she can keep it standing, she should be able. Even though I say that, she's not a high volume fighter. So it's really she's got good hands though. But yeah, I think Kay is gonna take her down if she can, and she'll win if she managed to get the takedowns, and that's that.
Nice, nice, nice. Moving forward.
Moving forward, what is the next fight? Takashi Shato. Is that
Jason
it?
Witt. Sato?
Yeah. Do you know anything about them, Takashi Sato or
No.
Ramses?
Man, I wasn't lying when I said I don't know shit about like 95% of this card.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is this Sato guy's mask is like barely even covering his face. It's like too big for his face.
Mm.
What the fuck's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Ramses, so we'll move on.
All right. The white dude, he seems pretty buff though. He's a Jason
Mm-hmm.
Witt. He's a thick man. Jason Witt be
Luis
very very
Pena.
thick.
Luis Pena versus Karma Worthy. I am high on Luis Pena. I think he's going to do well. I
Fuck,
think he
he's
should
big.
win this. Yeah, he's a tall guy. He should be able to use his jab well.
Yeah, I think the problem with Luis Pena, he seems to be really good everywhere. He has really good striking, he has really good wrestling, he has really good jiu-jitsu, he's really good at playing off his back, really good. He's got a phenomenal top game. He can throw decent hands, decent kicks, he can throw elbows and knees in when necessary. I think his main problem is chaining all those different elements together. So if he's striking, he's striking. But then he also gets taken down pretty easily.
Mm.
And I think that was his problem in his last loss. He kind of who was that against? I remember watching it. It just seemed as though he couldn't against that Matt Favola. Like his losses have been close losses. They haven't been like he hasn't got blown out of the water or anything, but it's mainly been because he gives up positions.
Mm.
So he'll be striking really well, he'll be doing really well on the feet, and then he'll get taken down. Or he'll start trying to go for takedowns and whatnot, but then his striking isn't there to set it up. So he's
Mm.
not good at just like blending all these elements together. Once he can do that, he'll probably like really really good. But at the moment, I haven't really seen too much of that from him.
Mm-hmm.
But his size, man, fuck, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He makes
Yeah.
this Carmel Worthy look tiny. I don't know anything about Carmel Worthy though. Is he a striker, wrestler? What is he, or all
Yeah,
round?
he's a striker. He's a striker. I've seen him fight against. I forgot his name. Let me take a look. Devonte Smith, and he caught Devonte. Devonte just didn't respect him. He caught Devonte and knocked him out. So yeah, he made his UFC debut on short notice and knocked the guy out. So good on
Damn,
him. I think he was a
nice.
huge underdog. So
So this could
good on.
this could be a fun fight then,
Yeah, it could be a fun fight.
because Pena he's 26. He's still in that young stage where he's like, oh, this guy wants a bang, I'll bang, and, and not think, well, if he wants a bang, I'll take him down, I'll fuck him up.
Mm-hmm.
So this it could be a bit of a firefight,
Yeah.
which is always fun.
Have you seen Woodson versus
Who?
Julian Arosa?
So say again.
Seen Woodson versus Julian Arosa.
Sorry, I just wanted you to say that again because you said scene. It's Sean. That's how my middle name is spelt as well.
Sean. I keep reading that. It says C-N, scene. It's
Yeah,
Sean. My bad.
it's all
Sean.
good, man. It's all
Why?
good. Same way that
Isn't
Sean Connery spells his name the same way.
why isn't Sean Shawan
Sorry?
Shawn? That's Sean. That makes perfect sense. Is it
It's a
like Italian?
Sean can also be Shaun. Doesn't no, doesn't have to be a W.
Yeah, that's true.
It's spelled many
It's just
ways.
yes.
But
All right,
hey,
let's move on.
my name is also spelled Chris Kris. So there we go.
Mm,
My
that's
my name just fucks with everyone. You know how hard it is when I have to like get people to spell it. Like I start
yeah.
like it's only 4 letters, but it's such a pain in the ass. You try and explain to people, it's like, all right, it's like, oh, sorry, what's your name? Chris. And they start writing it's
With a
like
K.
Kris and like, oh, Khris. I'm like, no. What? KH? It's Kris.
Oh, okay. Yep. Because
And
it's usually with a CH. Got you,
yeah,
got you.
yeah. And like, okay, so and they start writing Christopher. I'm like, no, it's just Chris. Like,
Yeah,
what do you mean? I got to write your full name. I'm like, yeah, that is my full name. It's just Chris. No,
yeah.
nothing extra added on. It's like, you sure? I'm like, what do you mean? Am I sure? You realize you're asking me my name. You're like, oh, can I see a birth certificate? I'm like, why the fuck would I have my birth certificate on me? I just carry that around everywhere I go. I can show you my license. Fuck's sake. It's like, all right. Now middle name. It's like Sean. It's like Sean. It's like that's not how you spell Sean. I'm like, well, that's how I spell Sean. All right. Fucking look it up. Jesus. And then with
Got
my
you.
surname, Bello, even though I spell it out to them Bello, they always put a W on the end.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm like, why are you adding letters? I never said that. Why are you adding letters,
Yeah.
man? Why are you adding letters?
Mm,
So it annoys me so much because my name is really simple.
yeah.
It's really simple, but maybe it's too simple. People just don't seem to get it.
Mhm.
Sorry. Moving on. We digressed a little bit too much.
Okay. So forgive my insolence. Sean Woodson versus Julian Arosa. Do you know anything about them?
Um, I know they're fighting on this card at a catch weight of 155 pounds.
Hmm.
That's it.
All right. Let us move on. I know nothing about them.
What can we pick up anything from from the weigh-ins? No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, sure. Let's
Um,
take a look.
uh, the bolder guy with tattoos on his torso looks taller, if that
Yeah,
means
that
anything.
is true.
And he's still
That
a
is
thick dude.
Sean Woodson.
So I'm putting my money on Sean Woodson. I always put my money on the bigger guy.
That makes sense.
It makes no sense, but I'm okay with it. Oh, we got mullets,
You got mullets
mate.
for
We got a mullet.
Tanner.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Tanner Bozer. Is he the
Yes.
mullet man?
Hmm.
I'm putting my money on the mullet man.
So Philip Lins is the former PFL champion who recently lost his UFC debut against Andrei Arlovsky. Arlovsky.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely betting against him then.
Hmm.
You went 3 rounds with him and you couldn't finish him, bruh.
And lost the decision.
But he also beat Jake Rochold. It's not bad.
Hmm.
I mean, Jake Rochold only got released from the UFC because he was boring.
Hmm.
Like he yeah, that Jake Rochold, he won 3 fights in a row. Then he lost to Olenek, and then he won another 3 fights in a row, and then he lost to Roy Nelson, and they released him.
Oh, jeez.
So he won six fights out of 8, and they fucking released
Hmm.
him. it's it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Poor dude.
That man was very boring to watch, to be
Oh
fair.
yeah, he was. I'm not disagreeing, but still, winning's winning.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going for the mullet. Because if you don't have the power to knock out Orlovsky, then you don't have the power to beat a mullet. Those are the rules. I didn't make them. I'm just following them.
Just to play devil's advocate, a lot of people come out into the UFC and they just get some jitters and they don't perform to the best of their abilities. And it happens all the time. So if Philip, Felipe, if Philip can come relaxed and fight, and because there's no people watching this time, really, it's just the cameras, there's no audience. I think he's going to fight to the best of his abilities. And if he fights to the best of his abilities, well, he was the PFL champ. And like you said, he has wins against good heavyweights. So I think he'd have an advantage here because I've watched Tanner Boser fight before, and he's nothing special. So we'll see how it goes.
We will. We will, but he's not beating the mullet. He just ain't. Alright. Come on, guys. Stop looking at each other. Get off. I want to see Dad Bod. Come on, where's Dad Bod? Jean Vellante. Make me feel good about my physique.
Right now it's Brendan Allen, is it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Dad Bod's not up yet.
Yeah. Brendan Allen versus Kyle Deckers. Do you know anything about Brendan Allen?
I know that he's fighting at middleweight on this card.
Okay.
Bro, I was not lying to you. I don't know shit.
Hmm.
This is not a good card for me. I didn't think this through when I said, all right, I'm ready to do this podcast. Let's do it. And then I looked up the card. And I'm like, I'm so not ready for this podcast. I'm so not
Okay.
ready. Like last week's card, I knew enough people on the card that I could like ramble about all of them just off memory. But for this one, I really should have jumped on and looked up a couple of their fights first, but I didn't because I thought, nah,
Right.
I got this. But I don't got this, like even a little bit. You do, so I'll let you go for it. Hopefully.
Okay. So Brendan Allen is a jiu-jitsu brown belt, and he's actually really good. He scored 5 knockouts in 16 fight career. But he has a lot of things unknown about his striking. So yeah, Kyle is making his UFC debut, which is why you don't know a lot of these. A lot of them are making their UFC debut or have had only 1 or 2 fights.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's also another guy who fought in the Contender Series. He won it by decision. Dana said bring him on, and he's in the UFC. So Kyle has good striking. He's a kickboxer. Doesn't he's yeah not scared of takedowns because he's one of the jiu-jitsu guys that does, how can I say this, weird shit like dodge chokes, or I wouldn't say weird shits, but less popular submissions.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're both big guys though. They're both like 6'2", so they're both pretty big. It's a fight between two unknowns, really. They're
Hmm.
both not established, and it's really a 50-50 fight. But I like Brendan Allen. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's another jiu-jitsu guy, and we'll see how it goes.
We will. I'm excited. Kind of, but not really. All right.
All right, now this is what you were waiting for.
Oh, sorry. These guys are still standing there. Would you ever get like a tribal tattoo covering your entire like one chest?
No, I would not do that.
Neither would I. But I wouldn't
Hmm.
even get like a tiny tattoo of like anything at all.
Hmm. That's
Wow,
fair, man.
that is a dad bod. Holy shit.
Yes, the man clearly has not been working out. Holy shit.
Like he says that he gets heavy. Like I've heard rumors about like in between camps he gets really really heavy, and that's why he needs such a long training camp just so he can lose all the weight. But
Mm.
holy fuck, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that man is a big, big boy. And so is Maurice Green. Holy shit. Guillaume Volante is 191. He would tower over us. And
Yeah,
Maurice Green is towering over Guillaume Volante. So,
yeah.
holy shit.
Well, you see matchmaker Sean Shelby standing there, and he's like barely up to the height of Maurice Green's dick.
Yeah, like he looks like a he looks really small compared to Volante.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So what do you think about this fight? Because this has like all the makings to be like moderately interesting. Because you got a guy Maurice Green who's not the best striker.
Yeah.
He's not great in any. He's not great anywhere. He's just kind of okay everywhere.
Mm.
Like he's got decent jiu-jitsu. He can work off his back. He can work up. Like I haven't seen too much of him. I remember when I was watching the Ultimate Fighter that he was on. He came out and he won like kind of a sloppy performance against a guy that was even sloppier than him. Uh, but yeah, then when I saw him, like I think it was his debut in the UFC, he scored a fucking triangle off his back, which for a heavyweight is kind of ridiculous.
Mm.
Yeah, it was his debut in the UFC. Scored a fucking triangle of all things off his back. So
Impressive.
and he actually gave Alexei Oleinik a bit of a tough fight on the ground. Like Oleinik should have been
Mm.
able to take him down, just submit him straight away,
Mm.
but he couldn't because of his size. Like it's not like that's the problem when you get a big guy who knows a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of wrestling. It is so hard. It is so fucking hard because they just know enough to get out of like a few things, and it's like I really have to tie this guy out to like choke him or
Yeah.
armbar him or get him in anything like just to hold him in a position for a little bit. He really needs to be
Mm.
tied out because once they understand basic scrambles, it's like it's a pain in the ass now. It's a pain in the
Mm.
ass. And
I
that's
agree.
kind of where he's at. So when he goes to the ground against someone that's like better than him, he can still kind of survive for a little bit, and that's what happened with Olenek. He survived for a little bit, and then Olenek eventually is like, bruh, that's my arm, I want it. So he armbarred him. And then you got Jean Vellante, who's not a bad wrestler, apparently.
Mhm.
I haven't seen any of it. He always goes out there and he strikes, but apparently he's got decent wrestling, which his coaches are always saying he doesn't use it, but he's got it there. Like him and Weidman train together a lot in regards to wrestling, but he just doesn't use it, and that's normally his undoing. Like fuck, he had four split decisions in a row. Jesus,
Mm.
he won two of them and lost two of them. That's crazy. He's like the Benson Henderson of the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently he's got good wrestling. If he uses it here, I don't think Maurice Green's gonna chuck a triangle on him. But you never know. He's a big dude. I mean, big dudes with big legs. Like, did you ever roll that? Uh he was a guy that used to train the morning class at Scammer. He was a cop. He was like a big, tall guy. Can't remember his name.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
like
Tim.
yeah. From like day one, even though he wasn't technically proficient at all, he knew a little bit off of his back to really fucking annoy you. Like trying to pass his guard or like he'd chuck up like arm bars or triangles. You, motherfucker, I've been training for like 6 years. You've been training for 6 months and I can't punch your guard right now. This is really pissing me off. You're like go, 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 and then the round ends and you're like, no, keep the round fucking going. I need to tie this bitch out. This ain't happening.
Yeah.
This ain't happening. It's like he ain't catching me anytime soon, but right now I ain't catching him either.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I completely feel you.
And that's kind of similar to this, but on the feet, man, if Vellante isn't like as tentative as he's been lately, like he had Sam Alvey beat him for 3 rounds. That's not it's not what you want. You don't want Sam Alvey
Yeah.
almost knocking you out. And then he had Shogun Hua back in 2017 knock him out in the third round.
Yeah, if you
And
get
that was
knocked out by the Ghost of Shogun.
yeah, I mean, and he had moments where he could have won that fight. He just didn't. And same against
Mm.
Sam Alvey, he had moments where he could have won that fight. He just didn't.
Mm.
So It's a fight that he can win. I mean, it won't be easy, but he has the ability to win it. Yeah. I'll go Volante in this one. Like I reckon he'll be able to. I reckon he'll be able to like eke it, like squeeze out a finish out of Maurice Green if he fights like safe. Like takes him down, gets on top, passes guard, lands a couple of strikes, tires him out. By the time he gets to the second round, Maurice Green's just scramble, 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 scramble. Eventually, he's gotten too tired. Finish him off.
Mm.
If his wrestling is as good as all these coaches keep on saying, that's my opinion.
From what I've watched of Guillaume Vellante, and what you've raised is really good. Does Guillaume Vellante has good wrestling? Yeah, I'll give him that. But his wrestling has been mainly used to keep it striking
Yeah,
and find the pocket. So unless Maurice Green is going to be a robot and go in and duke it out, I don't think I think that's Guillaume Vellante's path to victory. Maurice Green will keep his distance, use his long arms, hit him from range. I don't think Guillaume Vellante will take Maurice Green down. His wrestling's mainly been used
mm.
to keep the fight standing, really. And like you said, he's had so many split decisions. I just he's also so passive, like you mentioned before. So I just don't see him winning at all. It's going to be a hard fight for him. So I'm taking Maurice Green with this one. He's just the much bigger guy. And if Vellante can't reduce this match to just fighting in the pocket, I think he's going to lose.
it's fair call. It's fair call. We're also assuming that Maurice Green is going to fight like a tall guy when Stefan Struve had all the advantages in the world and didn't use them.
Yes, that is also true. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. However, now
Keep in mind,
my
just keep in mind for every semi-shield, there is a Stefan Struve.
yes, that is true.
All right, all right. Back to the Wayne video. Let's have a look. Who's up next? We know who's up next, but just for uh for build-up
I
sake.
love Mike. He's so entertaining, so animated the whole time.
Yeah,
And holy cow, Mickey Gall is like towering over him.
yeah, he really is. Fucking Perry just runs up. He's like, "What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Get so excited."
Dude, do you remember when fucking Mickey Gall was like, I'm gonna drop down to lightweight? Never did it because there's
Yeah,
no
what the?
fucking way.
I remember when he said that. I'm like, how? Where's he gonna lose the weight from his bone density? I mean,
Yeah.
what's he gonna do? There's not
Dude,
much
if
of him. He's
anything,
not like a big, bulky guy where you can lose like a bit of muscle, maybe a bit of fat. Like he's a very lean person.
yeah,
I don't know where he
if,
lose. Like someone like Perry, I could see going down
yeah.
because he could just lose a bit of mass.
Mhm.
But unless someone chops an arm or a leg off Mickey Gall, I mean, he's not losing body mass.
That is true.
Like how tall is Mickey Gall?
Oh,
He's gonna be like what, 6'2"? Yeah, he's 6'2", so 188 centimeters.
yeah, there you go.
And good old Perry is 5'10", which is 1.78 meters.
Mhm.
Jeez, one thing about Perry,
Mhm.
he hasn't beat a lightweight since he beat Jake Ellenberger in 2017. Like that,
What do you
Alex
mean?
Reyes was a lightweight coming up to welterweight, who Perry knocked out. Paul Felder,
Hasn't been a welterweight, you mean?
he hasn't beat. Yeah, sorry, he hasn't. He's only beat lightweights. Yeah, he hasn't beat a welterweight. Sorry. Paul Felder, obviously a lightweight coming up to welterweight, and Paul Felder only took that fight because he's like, I need to fight. All my guys have been pulling out. Li Quinta went to fight Khabib. Um, and a couple of other people pulled out of his fight, so he's like, fuck it, I fight Perry. And Alex Oliveira coming up from lightweight. Although I don't know how the fuck Alex Oliveira ever made lightweight, man. He's a big dude. He's a chunky monkey to say the least. And yeah, yeah. So that's all I had to say on that. Give your breakdown of this fight.
I am incredibly excited for this fight. I love it. I really, really love it. It's hard not to love Mike Perry. That guy is batshit insane, and it's so entertaining to watch. He has power. That knockout of Jake Ellenberger off the clinch, bang! Ah! I loved it. I loved it. He also has one of the best chins. He got a beating from Vicente Luque. But don't get me wrong, he kept it competitive too. He also was smashing Vicente Luque. They were smashing each other. It was really amazing to watch. He did really good against Alex Oliveira. Alex Oliveira should out technique and be outskill Mike Perry, but Mike Perry just has that aggression, that heart, where he's just gonna keep coming, and he just broke Alex Oliveira. And this is something that we saw from Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall broke against Diego Sanchez. He broke. He did not want to fight. Diego Sanchez is like half the size of Mickey Gall, and Mickey got smashed. He got spanked. I'm like, watching that. I was like, I could probably beat Mickey Gall. Come on.
Dude, you called out Chase Hooper, now you're calling out Mickey Gall. You better
Dude,
like watch yourself.
I'm gonna get beaten up bad one day. But Diego Sanchez, the ghost of Diego Sanchez, beat you up. That is, yeah, Perry. Yeah, I don't think Perry will ever be a top contender, but you know exactly what he brings. And Mickey Gall, his biggest claim to fame is beating up CM Punk. Really, he beat Sage Northcutt in a fight he was losing until he got flash knocked down. I just don't see how Mickey Gall having the stand-up skill and the takedowns to take down Mike Perry and out jiu-jitsu him. Because Gall can definitely take Perry's back and choke him out 100%. But if Mike Perry, I'm trying to say this in a nice way.
Just say it in a
If
mean
Mike
way.
Perry, if Mike Perry had a brain, he would keep this fight standing and smash Mickey Gall. If he didn't have a brain, he would go for a takedown and get choked out. So I think Mike Perry is going to win this because I think he has a brain. He fights smart, as in he has instinct and go, I know I can smash this guy standing. I'm going to keep it standing and smash him. So I'm picking Mike Perry to knock Gall out. Bang. Ground and pound or standing. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Take it away.
Yeah, my thoughts. As I said before, he hasn't beaten anyone that hasn't been a lightweight since 2017, April of 2017, and Jake Ellenberger wasn't that big of a welterweight at that point in time either. But Perry's a fucking tough dude, man. He's a tough dude, and he has kept it competitive against all the top guys he's fought. Like he fought Santiago Ponzinibbio, and as I was saying to you before we started the podcast, those first two rounds, he kept it competitive, but he was definitely losing those first two rounds. It wasn't like okay, could go either way. It was like okay, Ponzinibbio is definitely outpointing Mike Perry here, and Perry was chasing him down, but he could never catch up, and he was just getting counter struck throughout the entire first two rounds. And it wasn't until the third round where Perry he always keeps on coming. I don't know what he does for his strength and conditioning, or if it's not his strength and conditioning, it's just he's got a fucking huge set of balls. And in that third round, when every other guy's fucking falling apart, he's just like, nah, fuck this shit. I want to win. And it just comes out that he get a win because that's how we beat Danny Roberts. He was getting beat up in those first two rounds. It wasn't competitive. He was getting beat up, and then out of nowhere in that third round, Roberts is like, "Motherfucker's still here. This motherfucker is still here, and I want to go to bed. I'm tired, man. I am way too tired for this shit." And then Perry's like, "Well, I will oblige. I'm gonna put you to sleep," and he did. He fucking did. He put him to sleep. I was watching that fight. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck? This Mike Perry guy just scored a knockout? He was getting his ass kicked. It was
Mm.
crazy. And I only bring all that up because you made a very good point of the fact that Mickey Gall gave up, and Perry's never been the guy to give up. When Jeff Neal stopped him, but he got put down big in that fight. He wasn't quitting or anything like that. And even when he got put down, he's trying to get back up. Yeah, but it was just definitively over. But that fight against Vicente Luque, uh, once again did the same thing. Was losing the first two rounds pretty handily. It was that third round where he really started to come back. But in that third round, he also got his nose fucking dismantled, crushed, shattered, which I think potentially played a role in that Jeff Neal fight because he came back. He fought in August, came back in December. What's that? 6 months?
Mm.
When to get
Not
you?
enough time.
No way, no way. Personally, I don't think so anyway. I've never had that big of a nose injury, but I've spoken to people that have had nose injuries, and they always say that like you need time to come back. That's what happened to
Rory,
yeah,
Rory,
Rory.
Rory
Yeah,
McDonald. Yeah.
after he had his nose broken, it took him forever to get his shit back, and even now it's like changed him as a fighter. He's like, well, man, like it went from him going, I don't give a fuck how much you get paid. I just want to be in good fights, I want to win that title, and now he's like, nah, I've taken too much damage for that shit, man. I want money. Just pay me.
Yeah.
Just fucking pay me. And it's fair. It's fair because he's put on some good fights. But yeah. So my issue with this is that Mickey Gall may not be a good striker, but it doesn't. If you land, it still feels the same.
Mm.
And if like that's the first time I've seen Perry get stopped, and it was after a shot like that. Yes, it is. It is the first time he's been stopped in an MMA fight, and it was after coming off a fight against Luque. And this may be a case of just a guy being too tough for his own good.
Mm.
Because he likes. Because previously, he'd been fighting 3 times a year. In 2016, he fought 5 times. So he likes to fight very, very consistently. So that could be work. That could work against him here, as well as the fact that he's coming in with his new girlfriend as his corner woman. No one else. So if he gets like a big, so if, say for whatever reason he gets taken down in the first round, he gets cops a couple of punches to the face and his eye starts to shut. I
Mm.
don't think his corner woman is going to have the ability to address that
Yes.
swelling.
Yeah.
Like you got cut men, but they take cuts, but your cornermen are
Mm.
normally the ones taking care of the bruises and all that type of stuff
Mm.
and getting you back into the fight. So that's kind of the only things that worry me about this fight. In any other case, I'd be like, fuck, Perry's going to go out there and just destroy this kid. But just because of the just because of the fact that that fucking nose because that nose break wasn't like any kind of nose break against Vicente Luque. That was a dismantling of the nose. Like his nose, his face was fucking flat. I haven't seen that in an MMA fight since Rich Franklin fought Anderson Silva, but even that wasn't that bad.
Mm.
So I know. I reckon Mickey Gold probably comes out strong at the start. Doesn't necessarily hurt Perry, but puts enough pressure on him to take him down. Starts throwing a couple of strikes and eventually gets the rear naked. But as you said, if he can't get that early, Mickey Gold will probably break. And then if Perry makes it to that third round, because that third Perry is almost like a fucking Royd Mero. Yoel. Like he's a third round fighter. That third round is his. It's always his round. I don't recall seeing him lose like I don't think I've seen him lose a third round. Actually, let's
Mm.
check against Alan Joban because I remember he lost that fight. Yeah, he lost that, but even then he got was 37 37 30 27 30 27 29 28. So that third round still could have gone towards him. Anyways, so yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going Mickey Gall. I'm going Mickey Gall, even though it's not a very smart decision. But I've given you my reasoning.
Thank you. I'll take it. That's an interesting one. You're right. There's a lot of factored.
variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables. By the same time, Mike Perry is just way better. That's all it is. It's really
Yeah,
what it comes
yeah.
down to.
He's definitely fought the better guys. He's beat better guys, and he's lost
Mm.
closely, or not closely, but he's lost in competitive fights to much, much better guys. So yeah,
Mm.
I agree, good sir. Moving
All right,
on.
the last fight: Dan Hooker versus Dustin Diamond Poirier. This is going to be an interesting fight. It really, really is. I think if it ends early, it's Dan Hooker. It's Dan Hooker knocking out Dustin Poirier. But but I've seen Dan Hooker fade against Barboza. So if he goes after 3 rounds, I think Poirier is high volume, just like he did against Gaethje. Yeah, he's gonna knock him out in the last two. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. What are your thoughts? Take it away.
Yeah, the thing about Dan Hooker, like in that Edson Barboza fight, he didn't run out of gas per se. It was more so that he was getting the fuck beat out of him, and that's what gassed him out. It wasn't he was throwing too much. He's like, oh, I didn't condition myself enough for this. Like he was getting the snot like sucked away from him. It was brutal. I struggled to rewatch that fight. But when he fought Paul Felder in those final 2 rounds, he was gassing. And Paul Felder, I personally thought won those last 2 rounds. And I understand they gave Hooker the fifth round because he got a takedown and just didn't do anything with it. But that's how judging works for some reason. Um, so yeah, he has gas in a 5 round fight. So I'll give you that. Um, but the interesting thing about Dustin, he also gasses. But the difference about Dustin is that he has a style that's still economically friendly. So when he gasses, like his defense doesn't come from a lot of head movement. If your defense, like Dan Hooker, comes from a lot of head movement, then when you start to get tired, that head movement isn't there anymore.
Mm.
Whereas Dustin Poirier, if you go back and watch that Max Holloway fight, like he gassed hard in those final, in the last 3 rounds, he was starting to gas, but his defense wasn't about all this crazy head movement. It was like putting his guard up in all different ways, block the punches, and then as he's doing that, he ducks under, throws a couple of strikes. He's moving around, but he's also using his arms in like blocking in different ways. And oh man, just go back and watch that Max Holloway fight. His defense just looks so goddamn sexy. It was
Mm.
so good, and it was, as I said, economically friendly. Moving your arms like that is a lot easier than having your hands down and like moving your head, like your entire torso around to move, like get out of the way of punches. And that's I think why Dan Hooker gasses a little bit late. Like he's probably the better striker, but once again, he may be the better striker, but Dustin Poirier's grappling is phenomenal. Like don't get it twisted, just because he goes out there and gets plummeted by Khabib. I mean, that happens to everyone that fights Kebab. Everyone. So, Dustin Poirier's like wrestling and top game jiu-jitsu. His bottom game's probably alright as well. I haven't seen too much of it, but his top game jiu-jitsu is fucking great. Like you saw him go up against Eddie Alvarez and he out grappled Eddie Alvarez. He went up against Anthony Pettis, out grappled Anthony Pettis, and Anthony Pettis is great. Like
Mm.
he may not be what he was anymore, but his grappling is still top notch, especially when it comes to taking the back. Like
Mm.
people can't hold his back, and that's what Dustin Poirier found out. But then Dustin Poirier realized, okay, if he's going to get out of this, I'll take him out. So he adapts. He's very smart. Yeah. So I know this fight's it's difficult to call. As you said, if it's early, probably Dan Hooker, and if it's late, probably Dustin Poirier. But at the same time, Poirier's got that power, man. He can still knock you out early. I don't. It's tough. It'd be interesting. Like I'd like to see Poirier take a different approach and just instead of going out there and going, I can strike with anyone, go out there and wrestle a little bit.
Mm.
See if you can tire him out with the wrestling. Mix it up. Do something different. Fuck. If he does mix it up, I see him winning.
Mm.
I do see him winning. I see him winning pretty early. Because that grappling, if you're not a grappler, that fucking tires you out pretty quick. Like if you're a
Mm.
striker and you get tired out and you get pretty gassed in the fourth round from doing what you love to do and you probably train a lot more of, you're probably going to gas out doing what you don't train as much of.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And I don't know, let's go through the wins. So who has the more impressive? Okay, so they go. Yeah, it's not even a competition. The most impressive. Yeah, yeah, that was silly. Dustin Poirier's resume is definitely a shitload more impressive. I mean, even in a loss against Kebab, that's a huge name to have on your list. He beat Max Holloway, and that was a crazy exciting fight. He pretty much beat Eddie Alvarez twice. Like Eddie Alvarez got the score, like it was an illegal knee, like oh no contest, like bro, that's a DQ. That's a loss. Justin Gaethje, that was a tough fight. Anthony Pettis, Jim Miller, Bobby Green, Joseph Duffy, which doesn't get enough credit. Nancy Medeiros, Carlos Diego Ferreira, which is a pretty big win at this point because he also just choked out Anthony Pettis, which no one had really done previous to that. Yeah, Dustin Poirier, man. I think I always go against Dan Hooker, man. I'm the worst. I'm like he's a New Zealand guy, so he's close to home. I should be picking Dan Hooker every time, but I fucking don't. I don't. I picked Paul Felder against him. I picked actually, I don't think I picked. I think I did pick Ally Quinter against him actually. And yeah, I
Mhm.
only time I picked him was against Edson Barboza. Fuck me, I'm the worst. Maybe I just shouldn't make a pick for this fight because whoever I pick, it's just not going to go that way.
Mm.
Or I should pick the opposite to what I actually want. Is that what I should do? I don't know. Ah, man.
The mind games.
Yeah, the mind games. Also, Dustin Poirier coming off like an absolute mauling. Like he realizes now that he is not the number one guy, and he's not even close. Like he's
Mm.
like if you put Kebab and Poirier against each other 10 times, how many times do you think Poirier's going to win?
Mhm.
Like
No.
not many. Probably twice,
Mhm.
once. And if he wins, it's not out of outclassing the guy. It's going to be out of okay, he finally landed that shot. So yeah, he's now realized he's not the number one guy. He's got a very, very long road ahead of him to get to that number one spot. At what age is he now? He's got to be in his 30s now. He's 31. So at 31 now, he's going to make some huge leaps and bounds to catch up to the number one guy, and probably still not get that rematch because Kebab has only got a couple more fights that he wants before he retires.
Mm.
So yeah, my pick's Dustin Poirier. But yeah, that loss to Kebab could change things. But I'm going Poirier. If Dan Hooker can come back from that loss to Edson Barbosa, Poirier can come back from a loss against Kebab.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. We're gonna go with Poirier.
Yep, we'll go with Poirier. How though? How do you think?
I think Poirier in the late. I think Poirier in the late hopefully knocks him out. That's exactly what I see. I see Dan Hooker just fading and Hooker putting on the pressure. Sorry, and Poirier putting on the pressure and winning. That's all.
Do you reckon Poirier's gonna introduce a little bit of his grappling in this, or you don't think? You
No,
think? No.
no, no, no.
I like it when he introduces his grappling, man, because that's what he did against Pettis, and that's how he beat Pettis.
Mm.
That's good. But Pettis was also still a guy that everyone was scared of in the striking at that point in time. They're not as scared of
Mhm.
him anymore. So yeah, there we go. Wait, I didn't actually go back to the weigh-ins to watch the walkout, the face off for this fight. My bads.
Do it.
I'll do that now. Let's see the size difference. I don't know how Dan Hooker ever made featherweight,
Yeah, I know the guy's huge. I mean, he's tall as.
but he's also like jacked. Like he's a thick boy.
Oh, he wouldn't be that big when he was at featherweight.
Nah, clearly, nah, he wouldn't have been, but.
But
Just
Dustin
even
was
so.
also a featherweight contender
Yeah,
before.
but Dustin, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, look at that. Holy shit. The man looks much larger than than Poirier.
Yeah, well, even like Hooker's got these like absurdly like thick arms for his body
Yeah.
and big shoulders and fuck, he's a big boy. It'd be good to see him win though, because if he wins,
New blood.
yeah. Unlike last week where Volkov couldn't find an answer for the takedown, even though he had the highest takedown defense in the UFC.
Against two. Oh god, that
uh,
was a joke.
that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Like we're like, oh shit, okay, and then you go through his wins, and it's like, ah, okay, that makes sense.
Not a single wrestler. Uh,
Fuck hell, can you believe Dan Hooker knocked out Gilbert Burns? And now Gilbert Burns is fighting for the welterweight title.
yeah.
That's crazy. He also knocked out Jim Miller. Man, I love Jim Miller. That win last week from Jim Miller, dude. How sexy was that? Actually,
That was pretty good.
let's do that. Let's go through the fights from last week because there were some good ones there. So, do any of the fights from last week kind of tickle your pickle?
Josh Emmett and Shane Pergos was pretty good. I
That was,
enjoyed that one.
that was more than pretty good. That was fucking insane. That was a crazy fight.
Yeah.
Man, that was weird though, because like Josh Emmett was landing big shots throughout the fight,
Mhm.
and Shane Burgos was just no selling it. He was just like, nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah. It's like, dude, those shots look like they could put out a truck, and you're just no selling them. But
Yeah.
as we're watching it, we're both like, at some point this is gonna take its toll. And then that third round, man, he hurt Burgos a couple of times bad. Like he dropped him. I think he dropped him twice, and that second time he dropped him, you see Burgos. He's like trying to find where the fuck Emmett is. He's like, whoa, his eyes are going that way, but his face is looking that way. It's like, what the
Mhm.
fuck? Where am I? So
No.
that was cool.
That was for me what solidified it. Say Shane's never going to be champ unless he picks up and improves upon his fight IQ. Like Shane, you saw your reach is much greater than Josh Emmett. You can just touch him, keep your distance, and just win a decision, mate.
Yeah,
Not just kept going forward. I love the style though. I love the style. Goes forward and trades. I love the style, but it's not the best if you want to be champ, mate. That
nah,
was a
unfortunately.
very winnable fight for you.
Well, it wasn't a very winnable fight, obviously, because he. I thought he lost every round. I don't know what rounds they gave to him, but
I gave Josh the second and third.
yeah. But I didn't even give the first round to Burgos. But
Mm.
oh well. A fight that caught me off guard was the Tisha Torres and Brianna Van Buren fight.
Ah, how was that?
That was man. Tisha Torres looked good again.
Mm.
She actually looked good again. She hadn't looked that good in a long time. Like in her four previous fights, she was so tentative throughout the entirety of the fights. Just incredibly tentative. Wasn't really doing a great deal. Because like back in the day, I actually did rate Tisha Torres, but then over her last four fight stretch, I was like, she's not even fighting the way she used to, and she's like allowing herself to get beat. But she really put the fight on. She doesn't seem to have any power because she landed a lot of shit. But well, that's the thing. Her nickname kind of does make a lot of sense. The Tiny Tornado. She just throws everything out there, but she doesn't really try and land. Like she's trying to land, but she's trying to land out of like frequency, as opposed to just like find your shot. She's not trying to find a shot. She's just throwing everything out there.
Yep.
So that was interesting.
Speaking of interesting, Lauren Murphy on a three-fight win streak. Wait, three-fight win streak? Yes, three-fight win streaks.
Yep.
Mate, would you like to see her getting murdered?
Yeah, man. Oh fuck. There was no good outcome for this fight because whoever wins, they're probably gonna
Guys,
get. They're probably. It's just like I see Lauren Murphy getting less murdered than Roxanne,
okay.
but I don't know.
Uh, still murdered though.
Yeah, still. Oh god.
Uh,
Like she's a strong
that
girl. Maybe she can. No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm pulling at straws. I don't. Yeah, no. Let's just not talk about that. That makes me sad. Makes me
no.
very sad. What does not make me sad and makes me very happy in the pants is Jim Miller scoring that armbar over Roosevelt Roberts.
Yes.
How
That
good
was
is that? Fall like he took the back, started falling off the back. As he was falling, he caught the arm, and when he caught the arm, he just hooked it. All he did was hook it, and
mm.
then Roosevelt Roberts made like the rookie mistake of trying to pick him up and shake him off.
Oh yes, I saw that. I saw that. I thought, no, 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 you're supposed to stack, mate. You're
Like
supposed to
like
stack.
because when you're in the armbar, the idea is so you're in the armbar, put the weight down, and as you put the weight down, you start scooting the elbow out, and
Yes.
that's how you get out. You scoot, 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 and then you pull it out. There you are.
Mm.
But what he did was he was down and he pulled up. And
Yes.
he's like
Yes.
shake, 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 and like he's pulling up, but he's trying to hold it like that. It's like you're trying to hold
Oh.
an entire man's body weight on one arm, just like that.
Mm.
So he starts shake, 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 and as he was shaking, he's extending his own arm into the armbar, and
Mm.
then bang, it was on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just yeah, that's what happens when you put a new guy up against a vet, a guy in Jim Miller who's had 35 fights in the UFC
Mm.
against a guy who's had 3 or 4. That's just what
Mm.
happens, man. Like Roosevelt
Mm.
Roberts, if he got another chance, he might beat Jim Miller.
Mm.
But Roosevelt was he's more so a grappler than he is a striker.
Mm.
So you put up grappler against a guy like Jim Miller, you're you're really hoping for a lot because Jim Miller's no slouch on the ground. He's no slouch on the feet either. It's just that he's really short in comparison to all these new age lightweights.
Mm. Should probably drop down in all honesty. 145.
I think he was at one point, but because he got that Lyme
Oh,
disease, he has to have a very specific diet. So
yes.
I think to get down a lightweight, featherweight, he's going to struggle a little bit if he has to change up his diet because that will also bring back all the symptoms from his Lyme's disease.
Ah, got you. Got you.
So I think he's just better off. Like he gets paid pretty okay for where he is in his career.
Mm.
Like he gets paid 104K just to show, and then another 104 to win. So he got paid 208,000 for that fight,
Good
as
on him.
well as getting the performance of the night bonus being an extra 50K on top of that.
Good on him.
Yeah, fucking keep on trucking, man. Keep doing your thing. But he's
Mm.
also now on a win streak, I think. So how many fights has he won now? I am
Now he's not on
incorrect.
no.
I'm incorrect. But he's won 3 of his last 4. That's cool. He choked out Clay Guida and Jason Gonzalez. He fought Alex Oliveira, which was like disheartening to watch because he just got manhandled.
Mm.
What else was cool on that card? Gillian Robinson. It's good to see her get a win. Man, she just full on just wrestle fuck Courtney Casey like it was nothing.
Mm.
Courtney Casey had no answer. You saw her go back to a corner. She's just like, yeah, she's better than I thought. She's actually good. Like that's what I think that's what she said to her corner. She's actually good. It's like what would you expect? What do you expect, man? She's had a couple of fights and she's won in the UFC. What do you expect just to go out there and fight it like a can?
Mm.
That was pretty funny. That was similar to Poirier going back to his corner against Kebab and being like, I can't get up.
Mm.
He takes you down. I
Yeah.
can't get back up. It was good to see Bobby Green get a win. Raquel Pennington, she won. good fight. It wasn't like incredibly boring or anything, but yeah.
Mm.
Cool. So that's that card. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, that is that.
But next week, wait, is it? No, it's not next week, is it? No,
It
it's the week
is.
after. So we have a week off fights,
Yeah, that is going to be an amazing card. I'm so looking forward to that one.
and we might have our third man back for that one.
Yes, that. It's always exciting to have Peter in here.
We love Peter. I love Ajana. He's our favorite man.
Yes, that is
I
true.
cannot wait to have him back. Maybe he can jump on and flex his biceps. Actually, jump on your Instagram. I sent you a photo of you flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was from a post from ages ago that we chucked on the Ultimate Fan Chat Instagram page, which I haven't been taken care of at all for the past like year and a half. It's just there, but nothing ever happens on it. Like look at that picture and then compare your biceps from then to now.
Oh, all right. Let me jump on Instagram.
We'll have a live reaction to see if you've gained or lost.
I have most definitely lost. Take a look. Chris Bello, 4 new messages.
4 new messages, probably spread over a year.
That is true. Holy shit, that looks enormous.
That's
What
what
the
she said.
fuck?
Oh.
All right, let's take a look. Let's compare to now. Ooh, I need to take that off. Yeah, that is
All right, put your phone up to the
not the
camera.
same. That shit looks enormous. Yeah, compared to that, holy fuck.
Can you put the phone up to the camera?
Oh, shit.
And flex next to it.
And flex next to it. Whoa. All right, there we go. Can that see?
Yep.
Hang.
Oh. Yeah, look on that picture.
Yeah.
Even your triceps are popping out the bottom.
Yeah, there's a much
Damn.
bigger pop. Holy shit.
Damn. That's pretty good.
Mate, coronavirus.
Mate, where are your
Coronavirus.
weights? Where are your weights? You got weights in your bedroom, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
You can
I
get
do.
you can
I'll
get your
get back
gains
into it.
back. Get your gains going again.
100%. Need to get back on the Mexican supplements.
We do. We do. Also, oh, are your headphones still on? Whoop, 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 whoop.
Wait.
that that was always going to be a struggle, man. That was always going to be a struggle.
You knew it. Once you saw me put a
Yeah,
kitty,
yeah. I was like, can you see what you're doing right now? Like, there's a reason you took it off before you took the jumper off.
yeah.
Oh well, I give you an A for
I
an effort.
admit, I
What we
caught it.
need is Jeffrey to tell us what he thinks of your biceps now in comparison to then. Because Jeffrey, he loves big muscles. So let's see, Jeffrey, do you appreciate Dan's muscles from what was that, 2018?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, my friend.
A long time ago.
2000.
Back
Yeah,
when you
2018.
back when you weighed probably about what, 73 kilos,
Yeah, 73 would be right.
and now what are you in the 60s again now?
I'm like 66.
Fuck! Man, bro,
I'm like 66, 68,
we
yeah.
we need to wrestle. Maybe I can score some takedowns on you now. Maybe, hopefully, when you shoot on me, I'll just be like, huh! And I'll create that wall. You know when you shoot for a takedown on Michael,
Yeah.
and he just
Yeah,
does that wall, and you just shoot into it, and you're just like, good dunk, and you just fucking fall. You're like, what the fuck? Did I just hit a wall? What just happened then?
It's like, did I knock myself out?
Yep, that's literally
Oh,
what happens every time. Like, he just puts his arms out, and like my head gets pushed back, and it's like, ugh.
no, I feel you.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's not a pretty look.
it's, yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I weighed myself about a month ago at my cousin's.
Mm.
Dude, I was like 66 kilos. I was like, what the fuck? what the fuck? Last time I weighed myself, I was 73, like muscle. Oh, shredded.
That
So
took you a
I'm
while to get up to there as well, didn't it? That took you a couple
yeah,
of
it took me
years.
a while. Yeah, it took me a while to get up to there.
Mate, fucking get back on it.
Mm, I will. I
Are you
will.
are you working out? Like, what are you doing for training at the moment?
I started working out as of last week.
But like, what were you doing?
So just with the dumbbells, triceps, back. I got a pull-up bar. Pull-up bar.
Nice.
I yeah, and I'll. That's it really. Just anything I can do with a dumbbell.
Yeah,
See how it goes.
that's good.
I honestly would love for us to work out together, but
Yeah,
just scared. That's all.
when this shit lightens up a little bit, because I got
Mm.
plenty of weights in my garage. You can come around, we can do a workout, and then afterwards we can go over some wrestling drills,
Yeah, I'd love that. I actually would love that.
or we can warm
That'd
up
be
with
sick.
wrestling drills and then get into weights.
Mm. And do some pad works. Bang! I got pads and
I
gloves. Mm.
I have pads as well. I have pads for
Beautiful.
punching and pads for kicking, and I have a big body pad to so you can throw some body
Nice.
kicks. But I'm a bitch when it comes to holding those pads against kicks, man. I'm so scared.
Yeah, then we don't have to do kicks. Just boxing. Done.
Because I have a mate. I don't think you know him. His name's Matt. He
Mm-hmm.
used to do Muay Thai, and he
Mm.
was always trying to show me how to throw strong kicks. Because we back when we were like 15, 16, something like that, we did
Yeah.
Taekwondo.
Oh, nice.
So like I learned to throw kicks through that, and so
Mm.
did he. But the thing about Taekwondo kicks, they don't really have as much power as like a Muay Thai kick.
Yep.
So when I went to hold pads for him, I expected in my head I was thinking, okay, it's like for Taekwondo when you used to hold the pads for that, but also rule 16 we weren't the same
Mm.
size. He had put on a lot of weight since then, and he
Yeah.
kicked that pad so hard, like he winded me. I was,
Oh, my goodness. That's terrible.
I was just
Terrible.
like, he hit us like, boom. I just went underwater. I was like,
Jeez.
oh man, I didn't expect it. It was just like I wasn't tensing up or anything. I'm like, yep, go,
Mm.
good dunk.
Yeah.
It was no, and he's like, all right, man, how about we try leg kicks? I'm like, bro, you did that to my gut. You ain't fucking with my scrawny little legs. Like, I don't care if I got a pad there holding it. You're gonna fucking. It'll be like when you see that video of Ngannou
Mhm.
throwing a leg kick on that guy. He put like even though he put the pad out, he like kicked his legs from
Oh,
under him.
yes, yes, yes. I remember that.
Fuck that noise, man. Fuck that noise. But yeah.
Oh,
All right. I guess we can call it.
yes, we can. It
That
was
was,
fun, as
mate. We
always.
still made a solid hour and 30 minutes out of that.
Nice.
I think that's a good effort. I think that's a
Mm,
very good effort. All right.
I
So,
agree.
do you have anything to say, my good man?
I want to say, Chris, I love you. Thank you for everything and all the amount of time you put into this. And I would also like to thank Team Takedown, Scammer Gym, and AussiePetDoors.com.au. And lastly, I would like to thank you, Jeff. We love you.
Yes, we do love you, Jeff. Our number one fan, our only fan. So he's our number one fan, and he's like he's our top fan and he's our lowest fan. He's both. He's in a unique position. How many people can say they're in that position? That's cool, Jeff. You're cool. And I'd like to give him another shout out because he achieved something big today.
Go
He
on.
achieved something very big. He got Dominic Cruz to follow him on Instagram. I think it's Instagram
Oh,
or either
that's
Instagram or
actually
Twitter.
really cool.
Let me
That's
see.
actually really, really cool.
Let me see. He sent it to me today. Yeah, Instagram.
Man,
Yep.
that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool because Dominic Cruz doesn't follow many people, but
Mm.
he was telling me he's like because he always buys Dominic Cruz's like workout videos.
Hmm.
So he obviously shows him a lot of support. And then he
Ah,
does a lot
gotcha.
of those videos and he posts himself up doing a little bit of the training and he tags Dominic
Hmm.
Cruz in and Dominic Cruz takes those videos and puts it on his own Instagram.
Really? That's
Yeah,
so cool.
like on his Instagram
That's
story
really
and
cool.
stuff. Like it's on his
Hmm.
story, so it probably wouldn't be up anymore. But yeah,
Ah, got you. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty. I thought that was pretty cool because like to get a guy like Dominic Cruz, is a pretty arrogant guy. I can't see him just like giving out follows. It's like, yeah, I'll follow Uriah Faber just cause
Mm.
I see something like that happen. Okay, cool. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you, Jeffrey. We love you. If we've got a second fan, please say hi. I don't know, do something. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Dan, for coming to the podcast. We've kept it pretty consistent for the past 3 weeks. Let's see if we can keep this up. Even though next week we don't have any fights on, we'll try and think of something different to do. Because seems we won't be able to do a preview. I don't know what we'll go over old fights. I don't know. Maybe we can still do like a semi preview. We can watch some of Usman's old fights, Gilbert Burns' old fights. We can just watch them and do our own commentary on them. We'll do something like that. We'll find out. Try something different. But we should have Peter there with us, so that'll be even more entertaining and more interesting.
Yes.
So that makes me very warm in the belly. Uh, yes, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We haven't got many followers over the past 2 years, so maybe show us a follow, and maybe I'll start paying more attention to those things. Give us a like, a share, subscribe in one of those. I don't know. I don't have it on my screen. Somewhere in, maybe down there. Subscribe. Do it, please. We need it. We really do. Yeah. I think that's all I got to say. I think I'll hit the music when I can find it. I've lost it. I've lost the music, Dan. I'm failing. I'm failing at this life. Alright, wait. There we go.